After Mark Davis' Pro Bass Challenge shocked me, I just had to see what Top Angler had to offer. I mean, it looked to be another SEGA bass fishing style game, and yes, it is. With the music, good controls, fast-paced gameplay, and even how you move around in the boat to find your casting spot. It's all SEGA bass fishing like. Too bad, sadly, Top Angler has a few problems that really holds it back from being anything spectacular.
Top Angler.
So to start, we'll head on over to
Practice mode
and get to know how the game works. So let's choose our location of 3 stages. Season, with winter being a thing apparently. I'm not used to fishing games offering anything but spring and summer for the most part.
Okay, now you have my attention.
Then the time of day and weather, plus if the weather will dynamically change as we play, which is actually a neat feature to make the game more unpredictable, as weather will affect your fishing. Once we're all set, let's begin the game.
Select the casting point.
Top Angler has some good control layout. Nothing feels out of place. You use the X and circle to cast and reel at different speeds, triangle for lures, R1 and L1 in lure selection to change color, left and right on the D-pad, or left analog stick to move around, the left analog stick to move your rod, or even the D-pad. You use the left analog stick to hook a fish and fight it. And that's it control-wise. Everything is laid out perfectly, but when it comes to the gameplay, that's where things become a bit iffy.
Do tell.
The usual top, middle, deep, and bottom lures are here, and most are locked until you complete challenges and win tournaments. Thankfully, what you do have is a nice selection by default, but the unlockables do give you more variety, such as my favorite, the spinner, which I use quite often in my other fishing game reviews.
Oh yeah.
Once you got your lure selected, you can move left and right, just like in SEGA bass fishing, and find your perfect casting spot. Press X or circle, and then you can begin reeling it in. As you reel in the lure, you got 2 options, slow reel with X or fast reel with circle. Either way, just reel it in and don't bother trying to wiggle the lure, as it's not really possible without some jank and nausea. Just be patient and reel it in at whatever speed you prefer. Eventually, your lure is near a fish, it'll get intrigued, move towards your lure, and then
hit!
As you reel in your lure, match in the direction of the fish to ease tension. On top of that, you must stop reeling it in, but if you do it too long, it'll get off the hook. So how do you know what your line tension is? In the middle of the screen is a bar that goes red once your line gets tense, so keep an eye on it and just be patient with Mr. Fishy. Eventually, you'll win the battle and get your catch.
Bluegill.
So, after getting to know Top Angler's mechanics, let's go ahead and try out
Arcade mode,
where we can just like Mark Davis Pro Bass Challenge, it's just another challenge mode under a different name.
Damn.
Oh great, here we go. So anyways, you have 3 difficulties, but only easy is available at first. Once you clear it, move on to the other 2 in order. But
Here it comes.
I'm not having any fun dealing with this game's mechanics, as at times the line will randomly break, even though you follow directions on screen and watch your line tension. This eats up a lure, and in turn, leaves you with less options. This occurred more so in challenge mode than any other.
Hit! Right! Left! Oh no! Line break!
Oh, by the way,
Go fuck yourself.
Then, there's times where the line becomes too relaxed at random, even though I had it tightened while reeling, letting fish escape.
Hit! Oh no! Hook off!
Overall, the mechanics really hold this game back, and that's never a good thing. Controls are good, but gameplay leaves a lot to be desired. So let's move on over to the last two modes and see how those play.
Challenge mode.
There's 9 stages to clear in challenge mode, where you must complete certain objectives depending on which one it is, such as only catching huge bass or getting a certain amount within a time limit. But of course, all challenges come with a timer.
Select casting point.
The problems kick off right away, as fish don't really spawn in until you're far away, and then you waste time reeling for nothing and have to move around. The fish themselves don't always want to bite no matter your lure. Then the mechanics shine their fugly heads once more to make sure I'm not having any fun. In the end, I only got 1 checklist completed, but needed 2 more of another fish to win. The bloody timer ran out, and I lost.
Fail. You won a new lure.
Yeah, fuck this mode. So let's try out.
Top angler. Please select mode. Tournament mode.
Just like Mark Davis Pro Bass Challenge, however, you're still all alone in tournament mode, so you can never tell if you're ahead or not while fishing. Only once you weigh in will you find out you're in dead last and lose the entire tournament. I hated that in SEGA bass fishing, and I hate it here as well.
You're such a nag!
But overall, it's just fine fishing for a set amount of time. The fish do kind of bite, but also not really, since the weather and stuff affects things, which you have no control over in this mode. You can only keep certain size catches, so even if you get a fish, it doesn't mean you get to keep it. Nope. If it's like under 3 pounds, it's only release.
Medium.
And the problem is, the fish models don't exactly change size that much, so that way you can't really tell if it's a huge fish or a tiny fish for the most part. You never know if it's a good catch till it's too late, and you wasted all that time reeling in for nothing. But when you do nail a nice sized bass, it does feel good, not gonna lie.
Hit. Right. Big size.
All of you pathetic people down there. It's sad, really. I would feel bad for you if I didn't feel so good being me.
Eventually, I just got bored of the fish rarely biting. It gets old just casting and reeling after a while. So I weighed in, got 5th place, and quitted the game. Overall, 2 out of 4 modes are good, with practice being the best overall for its freedom. But what else is new for the likes of me? Let's just move on to the other section and be done with this review.
Yes! Oh, thank you, Lord in heaven.
The music, however, is good and gives off SEGA bass fishing vibes. While not as good as SBF or memorable as SBF, it still stands out as a highlight in what is otherwise a mid-game. You got unique music for each location, and a single fight song, which does suck as SBF had several. But yeah, Rockin' tunes, relaxing stuff, groovy beats for menus. It's all here, and I'm glad I got hold of the soundtrack. The load times can be a bit long, sadly. That really holds this game back. From 17 to even 30 seconds, give or take. I honestly hate that this game has to have these, because it could have made the game less boring if they only optimized things better. I mean, this isn't WWE SmackDown vs. Raw we're talking about here. Why is a bloody fishing game taking almost a freaking minute to load into the game and then load into a mode? Well, that marks another one down. We're down to 5 total, and I've hopefully saved the best for last, especially because 2 of them seem to be more than just a standard fishing game. But only time will tell once we get to them. I'm looking forward to Bass Strike, Kokoto Fishing Master, and River King, A Wonderful Journey, most of all. Meanwhile, Fisherman's Challenge is just kind of there. Look at that one weird uncle at a family reunion.
I have several questions.
At the end of the day, Top Angler is rather disappointing. 2 modes suck out of 4. The controls are good but mechanically spotty at best. You can only fish for bass, and there's not that many locations. It's nailing SEGA bass fishing down, but it lacks the fun and fair but challenging gameplay of it. The music is nice, and graphically it looks good for a PS2 fishing game, but otherwise it's just pretty mediocre and forgettable. I'll recommend it, and just move on.
Alright, everyone, he said it. We can go home now. Gift bags at the door.
Anyways, that's it for this video. See you all later.
Hit! Right! Big side!
All of you pathetic people down there. It's sad, really. I would feel bad for you if I didn't feel so good being me.